We're putting in a double din JVC.
You don't trust aftermarket products.
Jumbled wire junk there, right? Agree that you're gonna not kill anybody. Hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt and this is the last video that I am uploading in 2020. We finally reached the end, guys, of the year. I hope you guys are gonna have an awesome new year, New Year's Eve, all that. But before we get into today's main content, I do wanna share one quick sell that we have going on with you guys. And that is the Gearhead 704 stickers. I always say stickers, they're really decals. You guys give me a hard time about it. You probably should. But I've had these as a link down in the description below that you could buy for a while. They're on alteredfox.com. But right now we have a special going on where you can use code GH704LIVE and you can get these for $375 with no shipping. So it's a special deal we're doing just for a little while. I think it's gonna go to about January 8th. I will have the exact details of when it ends down in the description below. But yes, you can check these out if you've been wanting to get your very own Gearhead 704 decal. You can do that for a special price just for a limited amount of time. So normally I put this at the end of the video, but since we had this sale going on for just a brief amount of time, did want to throw it in here at the beginning. But anyway, what we're doing today, let's go ahead and get into that. We've got some different things laid out here. We are finally going, we're getting with the times, guys. We're putting in a double din inside of TarHeelFox today. I mentioned this on the channel not too long ago. This is a JVC. You can see the unit number here. I'm pretty excited about it because I'm gonna get all kinds of things like actually being able to talk in the car. Although, you know what? If I answer the phone, then probably all they're gonna hear is exhaust. So we'll see. We should definitely try that out. That could be kind of funny. Get Tiffany to call me, you know, while I'm doing a pull on the highway or something. But anyway, we're doing the full install today. Although I did want to mention, I said in the last video, I was going to put in one of 417 Fox's trim bezels. You can see that right here. It's a very nice piece and I was gonna go ahead and install it, but I'm running on some limited time today, guys. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and install the radio in the bottom location. Later on, I'm probably gonna come back and relocate those AC controls, those HVAC controls to the bottom and use his bezel. We're not getting into that today. That'll be a separate video. If you bought one of those or you're planning on buying one and you wanted to know how to see the install, he has that on his channel. So while I'm not covering it right now, I know that some of you want to see that. So how he installed it, I will have that link down in the description below. But yeah, what we're doing today, I'm here at Fox Mustang Restoration with Matt. And I've never installed, believe it or not, a radio in a car. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that today. Matt's gonna help me out and we're gonna do some soldering. I have soldered before and just gonna be a lot of fun. So we'll get the double din installed today, guys, see how it looks. And then down the road, we'll get to the trim bezel later on. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and run you through some of the different things we have here. This is the installation kit I'm using, and I wanted to show you guys what the actual mounting kit number was. You see it's for 87 to 93 Ford, so I'm gonna be using that. Obviously not gonna use this like I talked about, but everything else you see here, and got some different screws and wires and all that, so we're gonna cover what needs to be done to get this unit installed today. So you have this full details in case you wanna do the same thing. But yeah, that's it. Enough talking, enough advertising for now. I'm gonna move on to the car. All right, so now it's install time, getting through the first step. Obviously this is the car right here. Matt's already in the car, co-owner of Fox Mustang Restoration. The first thing we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna go ahead and pull out the factory harness. We also have some leftover aftermarket radio harness in there. Some jumbled wire junk there, right?
Yeah, the good old classic rat's nest there.
Yep, so we're gonna pull the rat's nest out and then we'll show you guys what the next steps are, but that's the first thing. So you'll see a little time lapse right now. Check this out, guys. I still have the stock intermediate wiring harness for the radio. This thing has never been cut up. Matt was just marveling at it because you usually don't see these like this. But we went ahead, pulled this out. It was just sitting in there. It was really in the way. And we're still working on getting the rest of the wiring out. And
no, we're done.
Oh, we're done? All right. We're done getting the wiring out.
Now we're gonna wire in the new plug.
Okay.
We're gonna do that over on the
We're heading to the bench, guys.
All right, so let's clean this mess up first. These are aftermarket connectors. You can see they look like Ford connectors, or they're factory Ford stereo connectors.
Yeah, this was what was in my car,
right,
for the old Pioneer unit.
Correct. You buy these connectors to pretty much plug in any aftermarket stereo to a Mustang. So typically, this is the plug off of the old radio. So we don't need that, so we're just gonna...
So we're gonna reuse part of this because our double din did not come with one.
Correct.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, no aftermarket radio is going to come with a vehicle-specific connector. You're always going to have to buy that individually. The last time I picked one up, probably a couple years ago, I was able to just drive over to the Walmart and get it. This was all together here with these connectors, and this was plugged in into our factory harness. We just cut these two connectors off, which we are going to reuse. Normally, you could buy one,
but I'm just gonna use this one because we already had it. And this is there, so we don't need that anymore. And now Matt's gonna show us how we go ahead and connect these up, in case you don't know, in case you're wanting to do this at home as well. So we got our 2 connectors here. We got to do some soldering, I believe, Matt. Is that right? Got to solder.
Yep.
So I even bought my own soldering iron for this guy. So maybe we'll double solder here in a second. But so what do we got going on with these connectors here?
Well, where we're at right now is we want to make sure we get all the wires hooked up correctly. And the nice thing about the aftermarket components as far as the wire and harness adapters is that they're all color coded pretty much the same. Here's your 2 adapters that are made directly for a forward fit, and you can see they're all color coded. The nice thing about these, this actually has printed on here.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that. Left
front negative, or LF negative.
Okay.
And this one you got left front positive. So those are your left front speaker, positive and negative. So we keep.
And this is our new one that they sent with the kit for the Double Din.
That's the one that came with the radio, actually in the radio box. And if you notice, they're also color coded. This one's not printed though. It's just a solid color with the black stripe. The black stripe is going to be the negative. Solid color is going to be the positive. Same thing here. Green, solid, with, and then the other one's a black stripe.
So if it has a black stripe in it, it's always going to be negative.
Yep. If you notice, we have white, green, purple, and gray connector. Same color coding we have on this other aftermarket connector, so we just match those up. On the other end, we have this connector here. This is where you get your power feed, your grounds, and also your illuminations.
Yeah, this was all for speakers, right?
Yeah, this connector does the speakers. This connector does all the power feeds to the radio, including the light. And again, you'll notice they are color coded.
Color coded, look at that.
Yep, there's a couple that we won't use on this one that the Fox body doesn't have. So this one here, the blue one, this one's for a power antenna.
Okay, yeah. Fox bodies don't have those.
Right, so we're just gonna cut that or tie it together with other wires we don't use. Here's another one. The remote input from the steering wheel. This is for later model vehicles that have the radio controls on the steering wheel. Again, Fox body doesn't have that. Same thing right here. Mute feed for the audio.
Yep.
Fox body doesn't have that. So these 3 wires we'll just tie up and tape them together and just leave them alone. You get your 2 power feeds, you got your power, your constant power and your switched power. The constant power needs to be hooked up to a battery feed that always has power with the ignition on or off. And what that does is that keeps the memory alive for your presets and your clock and anything like that.
Okay.
Your other one's going to be your switched power, and that's what actually powers the radio up whenever you turn your ignition on. Basically meaning switch power is it has power when the ignition's on, turn the ignition off, it doesn't have power. So 2 separate power feeds, then you got your ground, and then finally you have your illumination. You're gonna wire this into your lighting circuit or your headlight circuit, so this way whenever you turn, you would actually wanna wire it into the circuit that does your dash lights. Whenever you turn it on, the radio will actually dim to be bright enough during the day so you can see it during the day. It's actually very bright. So in the evening, when you turn your headlights on, this sends a signal to the radio basically that you have your headlights on, means it's probably dark, so it's gonna lower the color or the brightness on the radio face so it doesn't blind you while you're driving at night.
This side's color coded too, so it's pretty much just matching those up, right?
You got it, man.
That makes it easy.
Exactly.
Was it time to solder?
I believe it is. Yes, it is.
All right. Let's see if I learn anything. Guys, we do have a whole entire video on how to solder. We did that not too long ago, actually, because I soldered my fog lamps into my car over there. I've got an iron. I don't know. Are you going to get your iron too? We're going to try to do this in a race. I'd lose, but...
Actually, no, I think we can just do it with this one right here. I can strip wires and you can crimp and solder and all that stuff.
All right. So guys, we're going to move you back up on the tripod, do a little time lapse, and we'll see what it looks like after we're done soldering. Harness ready to go. We soldered, and you saw on the time lapse, Matt still had to help me out. I'm still learning. I'm still figuring it out. Matt was helping me through it, but I'm getting better. That's the main thing. So this harness is ready. It will plug right back into the back of the radio here. So right there, this connector goes in there. Some of this we wrapped off, we won't be using. We already covered that part. We've got our connectors here, so we'll be able to plug those right into the factory harness. So we're kind of ready for the next step. What is that next step, Matt?
We'll mount the radio. So this radio, the installation kit looks pretty simple. You get this portion right here. So this actually, the radio face is recessed, so this mounting bracket actually fits onto the screen pretty nicely. So you get that ledge right here. That goes right there, and then what we do, you go like that. We got our mounting plates. So it calls out left and right. So what we would do, we'll have to pull this little screen off first, but you see these little notches right here? They actually go into...
Oh, there's a little recess for them.
Yeah, right there. So this is a little boss where the screw's gonna go through to mount the bracket to the car. But if you look right here, after we got it mounted up, these elongated holes line up with those screw holes right there. So that's where we need to mount this like this, and then take 2 of these screws, put them in here. We'll do the same thing with the other bracket. And then after that's done, we're ready to slide this into the car and mount it into the console.
Okay, and we also have some other things we're gonna have to plug in. Yeah, like this is for the speaker if I want to talk on my phone. And...
It goes right here.
Okay.
And you get your USB port, which is right here. We'll untie this, and we'll have to run that probably under the console. We'll plug your antenna in.
That's the antenna goes there.
And then after that, you plug your main switch in, and you should be able to go.
Okay, so we're just about done. We're gonna go ahead and do those steps in time lapse as well, but just want to kind of explain what was going on here. And anyway, let's finish this up. We are back out by the car, and Matt just wanted to double check the speaker connections. So he went ahead, that's why he's got the speaker out over there. He wanted to see if the pinouts were right, because you know we are working on the aftermarket stuff. And Matt, you found something.
Yeah, well, I found that
they weren't right?
Again, you don't trust aftermarket products.
Right.
So basically, yeah, the positive and negatives. So each speaker had a positive and negative wired to it, but the negative of one speaker wasn't going to the matching positive of that speaker.
Right,
we had like the 2 different speakers.
Like the left negative was going over to the right side and vice versa, right?
Right,
okay.
Exactly. So that leads definitely cruddy sound, which you were saying you were having, which even though your other radio was still new, you were having problems with the sound.
Right, yeah, I was using the aftermarket harness before, but the sound on that Pioneer radio was really kind of junky, guys. It was not good quality, and sometimes it was intermittently go in and out. Don't know if that is the same thing Matt's talking about here, but either way, it's definitely a problem, right? That's not what we want. We want them going to the correct sides. So how are we gonna work around this issue then, Matt?
So what I need to do is all 4 speakers, find out the positive and negative for each one. This is the factory harness. This is the part that hooks up to the dash. So here's all your speaker feeds, and here's your power and grounds and lights and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is, so this aftermarket connector we just made this harness with is pinned incorrectly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these wires out and I'm gonna rearrange them to match what's here.
And so you'll find that out by checking each speaker, basically.
Right.
Okay, well, I have some good news.
What you got?
I'll help you do that. So we're gonna figure that out, and then we'll put it on camera. So he doesn't have to do it all by himself, but yeah, he does share the burden of knowledge here on Gearhead 704. All right, guys, I had a little scare there for a second. This was not powering on at all, and we thought maybe the unit was bad, but it's just the aftermarket connectors. They're not connecting very well, and Matt figured that out, luckily. And right now we're testing each speaker individually to figure out what's the correct way, right? We already talked about that. So we just tested one. Can't really let you guys listen to that because then I get copyrighted and I can't, you know, put advertisements on this. But that's what we're doing right now. We're gonna test each speaker like we just tested this one over here. Go through each one and then we'll know the correct way. So I'm gonna put you on time lapse for some of that, then hopefully we'll be about done. Guys, we got these speakers worked out. They're working better than they ever have been before. Matt figured out the positive and negative, so I've got speakers here, and I didn't realize this. Right? My other rear speakers, I thought you didn't have them in the convertible, but you do. Apparently they're right here underneath this. It's different in the 90s and up, but we heard sound from back there as well, so pretty much check this out too. This is cool. I can talk to people on the phone. I got a little speaker or microphone here rather. Gonna run that. And we just got some more routing to do, but pretty much we're done. The big problem we had was with that aftermarket connector. Again, I just used the one I had in the car. Maybe if I would have bought a brand new one, I wouldn't have had that issue. Who knows? But yeah, that caused us a big problem. Matt figured that out. Now we're gonna try to get everything in there mounted. So not too much more to it. See what we can do here in the next few minutes. Take a look at this. All we got here now is the connectors, the antenna, and my new, I guess, microphone. Yeah. Wire, and it's a lot less wires there, Matt, so that looks a lot better.
Well, same amount of wires, just cleaner.
Okay, yeah, way cleaner for sure. So we're gonna do that, and we also have the USB. This has a USB connection on the back of it. I'm gonna eventually, guys, go with the Fox Mustang Restoration cup holder console. They sell this here. So for now, you know, I've just got the plug and chug. We're not gonna be too careful about how we run that one over there because I'm gonna end up replacing that, like I said. So for now, we're just gonna throw it somewhere around here, maybe hide it over here, we'll see. But that's where we're at next. Just want to show you that. Gonna go ahead and get the unit in and cover all this up, and we'll see how it looks. Hey, check it out, guys. Powering on here. She's working good. Agree that you're gonna not kill anybody. And I've already done some setups here. This is how it's looking. It's pretty awesome so far. Let me play some music for you guys. Turn up the volume here. It's something that, see, I got no copyright on this. You guys can see that's coming from my phone. You get the idea. But essentially it's working, so that's pretty cool. We have a few more things to button up, but yeah, all my speakers are working. Something else that was not working right before. But yeah, there we go. Pretty cool setup. The sound is a lot better on it as well. Before, the polarity was messed up on it. With the way the aftermarket harness worked, the way it was wired up, which Matt figured out, which was awesome, is some of the cables for the negative on the left speaker were going to the negative on the right speaker and vice versa, and it was just all messed up. But I'm a lot happier with it now. It sounds a lot better. You heard a little bit of it there. As far as 417 Fox and the trim bezel, I do think that looks a lot better. Again, I just didn't have time to do that part today. I think I'm gonna do that in the future. For now though, I'm gonna go ahead and just see how it works as is, mounted lower, but I'm pretty happy with it. So those are the steps. That's what we ran into. The biggest thing was the aftermarket harness. If you guys are installing one of these in your car, double check the pinouts, make sure it's lined up. Luckily, Matt had the Ford books and just figured out that it wasn't right. So that was a big help. I also have good news as well on my back. My back is feeling a lot better now, and I'm hopeful that I might be able to work on the SSP this week. So we'll see about that. Oh yeah, before I forget, I am gonna go ahead and announce the winners for the Cerbinator spoiler giveaway. And I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna cut to some footage of that because as of right now, when I'm filming this today, people could still enter. So let me cut to that real quick and I'll come here and close the video out. I do have the winners of the Cerbinator spoiler giveaway. We had 69 total entries. I could not believe it, that was a lot of entries. And so I just used a random list generator. Before I announce the winners though, I do want to go ahead and thank the Cerbinator again for doing this giveaway through the channel. Many of you guys asked about his spoilers in general, even if you didn't want to win, you wanted to know more about them. And he does have them not just for the hatchbacks, guys, but he also has them for the coupes and the convertibles as well. So if you have a Foxbody coupe or convertible, you can also pick up one of those. In fact, I think he even has them for other later model Mustangs, like a S197, that type of thing. But Matt Serbin, big thanks for doing this through the channel. If you guys want to actually purchase a spoiler or some of his other products, check his website out. I will leave it down in the description below, Cerbinator Auto Designs, and you can pick you one up if you didn't win. But anyway, the winners are, first we have PBM Brent with his 1989 Mustang GT hatchback. And the second winner was Marcus Budp, who had a 1990 Mustang GT hatchback. So congrats y'all that won. I really appreciate everyone who participated though. Sorry if you didn't win. We will be doing other giveaways though in the future. I don't know what we'll be giving away, but we're definitely gonna have more giveaways on the channel in the future. So you guys that won, I will be replying to your comments, your original comments, so you can reach back out to me and go ahead and we can work out and you can claim your prize and get these two awesome spoilers for the hatchbacks in your hands. So that's it. Let me go ahead and cut back to myself to close this video out. The only other thing is I do have a new way you can support the channel if you want to. There is a new link down below for Amazon. Anything you guys order off of Amazon, It doesn't cost you any more, but I will get a small commission from that. So if you want to, go ahead and click on that link, buy anything from Amazon, and it does support the channel. I appreciate it. If you guys want to do that, again, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but no worries, feel no obligation. So pretty much, yeah, that's it. Remember that, remember the stickers. Giveaway winners have just been announced. I'll also have the information down below in a comment and blast it on my social media. But yeah, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, and we'll see you here next time on Gearhead 704. Did figure out how to do some of it at least? No, that doesn't make sense.
I think we figured out how to do all of it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Okay, fine. I'll take.
This felt good.
Doritos are good, guys. I still got the Dorito problem.